On the distant planet of Zythera Prime, the capital world of the Zitherian Empire, life moved with precision. Massive cities gleamed under the light of 3 suns, and airships hummed between towering spires. The Zitherians prided themselves on order, technology, and logic. Legends of old creatures or lost civilizations were considered stories for children, and the idea of humans, tall, strange, and resilient creatures from another star system, was mostly ignored. Yet, in the quiet halls of the Zytherian Historical Archives, scholars whispered about humans. Ancient star charts suggested humans had once traveled through space, fighting and surviving in ways that no other species could. Some spoke of human ingenuity, their ability to turn weakness into strength and their capacity to survive against overwhelming odds. To most it was myth. To Commander Rylix, however, it was a puzzle he could not ignore. Rylix was a mid-ranking officer in the Zitherian military, responsible for scouting distant star systems for threats. He had studied countless reports, simulations, and historical accounts. Every now and then he would come across tales of humans. One account described a human colony surviving a deadly virus that wiped out other alien settlements. Another mentioned humans defeating an enemy fleet twice their size using tactics that no Zitherian had imagined. Each story seemed improbable, yet the consistency across reports disturbed him. Legends do not fight fleets, Rylix murmured to himself one evening, looking at a holographic map of the edge of Zitherian space. The map displayed faint signals, energy patterns, and traces of ships that had appeared and disappeared decades ago. According to these signals, humans had once been there. "Commander Rylix," said Lieutenant Vethra, his assistant, entering the room. "You are reviewing human files again. You know the Council dismisses them as myth." "I know," Rylix replied, his voice calm but firm. "But myth or not, these patterns are real. Something is out there, and I intend to see it for myself." Vethra hesitated. Zitherians were trained to follow orders, not question them. But curiosity burned in her eyes. "You really believe humans exist?" "I do," Rylix said. "And if they do, we must know what we are facing. The Zitherian Empire cannot ignore a potential threat or ally because of a story." The next day, Rylix received permission to assemble a small fleet. It would be a scouting mission, meant to confirm or deny the existence of humans. Most of his colleagues mocked him. "You chase myths while real problems await," one officer sneered. Another warned, "Even if they exist, humans are primitive. This will be a waste of resources." Rylix ignored them. He selected his best ships, sleek vessels equipped with advanced scanners and adaptive shields. The crew consisted of disciplined Zitherians, trained to respond to unexpected threats. Among them were navigators, engineers, and tacticians, each skilled, but none had ever faced a species as mysterious as humans. As the fleet departed Zythera Prime, the stars stretched endlessly around them. Months passed as they traveled beyond Zytherian-controlled space, crossing vast nebulae and star systems untouched by their kind. Despite careful planning, nothing appeared at first. Only empty planets, derelict stations, and ancient asteroid fields greeted them. One evening, Rylix's sensors picked up a faint signal. It was subtle, almost invisible, but unmistakable. Energy signatures consistent with ship activity. "Bring us closer," he commanded. The fleet adjusted its course. As they approached, the signals grew stronger. Rylix's heart, a thing rarely stirred by emotion, felt a hint of anticipation. From the shadows of an asteroid belt, human ships emerged. Not hundreds, not thousands, but dozens of vessels, each moving with purpose and precision. The humans did not hide completely, yet they were invisible to simple scans using stealth techniques Rylix had never seen. His crew murmured in awe. "They are real," whispered Lieutenant Vethra. "Humans are real," Rylix nodded. "And we are about to meet the legend." The human ships glided through space like dancers. Their designs were simple but effective, combining agility with resilience. Energy shields shimmered around each ship, but they were subtle, unlike the massive defensive fields Zitherians preferred. Rylix studied them closely. The humans' fleet formation was irregular, yet each move was coordinated. Every ship seemed to know its role without orders being broadcast. A human vessel broke away from the group and projected a communication beam. A holographic figure appeared, a human woman in a sleek uniform. Her presence was calm but authoritative. Her voice carried easily through translation protocols. "I am Captain Ilara Dane of the United Earth Fleet," she said. "We are aware of your approach. Humans do not seek conflict, but we will defend our territory if necessary." Rylix's eyes widened. He had expected confusion, hesitation, maybe even fear. Instead, he saw confidence. He felt a mix of curiosity and respect he had never experienced before. "Prepare the fleet," he ordered quietly. "We will observe, but do not attack. I want to understand them first." For days, the Zitherians followed the humans at a distance. They witnessed ships repairing themselves rapidly after minor collisions with asteroids, using techniques that defied Zitherian understanding. Humans repurposed environmental resources, asteroids, gas clouds, and solar winds to aid their movement. Their coordination was seamless, almost instinctive. At night, Rylix reviewed historical records of human ingenuity, how humans had survived natural disasters, alien threats, and even internal conflicts. Observing them now in space, he realized the stories were not exaggerated. Humans were adaptable, resilient, and capable of strategies that Zitherians had never considered. By the end of the week, Rylix's admiration grew. He began to see why the myths persisted. Humans were not only survivors, they were clever, daring, and unpredictable. The legend of humanity was no longer a story. It was a reality unfolding in front of him. As he looked at the fleet against the backdrop of stars, Rylix knew one thing. The Zitherians had underestimated humans for centuries. And soon, the Empire would learn that legends could become reality in the most unexpected ways. Commander Rylix watched the human fleet carefully. Unlike anything he had ever commanded, these ships moved with surprising freedom, shifting positions in ways that Zitherian formations could not anticipate. Each vessel seemed to have its own awareness, responding instantly to the environment and to other ships. Lieutenant Vethra leaned over the observation console. "Sir, they're reorganizing, without any central command."
"How is that possible?"
"They are not like us," Rylix said quietly. "They think differently. That is their advantage." For days, the Zitherian fleet observed the humans silently. They noticed that humans relied on quick maneuvers rather than heavy firepower. Small craft zipped between asteroids, using natural cover to remain unseen. Some ships appeared to disassemble and reassemble parts mid-flight to repair damage, a concept Zitherian engineers had never tried on active missions. Rylix decided it was time for communication. Using a secure channel, he sent a formal message. "This is Commander Rylix of the Zitherian Empire. Identify yourselves and your intentions." Within moments, the humans responded. A holographic image appeared. A woman in a dark blue uniform, her posture upright, her gaze steady. "I am Captain Ilara Dane of the United Earth Fleet," she said. "We do not seek conflict, but we will defend our territory. If you come in peace, we will listen. If not, we will fight." The clarity of her words impressed Rylix. Humans were direct, confident, and unafraid. Their voice held no fear, no hesitation, only firm resolve. Even Vethra, who had always trusted Zitherian efficiency, felt a shiver of respect. Rylix instructed his officers to keep the fleet at a safe distance. "We will not attack unless provoked," he said. "We are here to learn, not to conquer." Despite his caution, the first test came quickly. One of the Zitherian scout ships miscalculated its approach and drifted too close to a human vessel. In an instant, the human ship emitted a pulse of energy. The Zitherian vessel was immobilized for a moment, though unharmed. It was a warning, precise and non-lethal. "Impressive," Rylix murmured. "They can disable our ships without destroying them." The humans' tactics were unconventional. Instead of engaging in a traditional battle formation, they relied on mobility, strategy, and environmental advantage. Asteroid belts, radiation pockets, and gas clouds became their allies. They could predict Zitherian maneuvers almost before they happened, forcing Rylix's fleet to adapt quickly. In a controlled skirmish, small Zitherian strike teams attempted to encircle a human squadron. Within minutes, humans had divided their forces and used decoy ships to mislead the attackers. Zitherian pilots were frustrated. Every move they planned was anticipated and countered. It was not brute force, but creativity and teamwork that made humans so effective. Meanwhile, Captain Dane's ship moved closer to Rylix's flagship. Her image remained calm, her words measured. "You study us as if we are simple. Observe carefully, Commander. We do not rely on numbers. We rely on thinking, adapting, and acting as one. Rylix felt a growing admiration, mixed with unease. The Zitherians had never encountered a species that combined courage, intelligence, and innovation so naturally. Humans were unpredictable, capable of turning disadvantage into opportunity, and that made them extremely dangerous, if provoked. Over the next few days, Rylix allowed his crew to interact remotely with humans. Holographic exchanges included discussions of strategy, navigation, and technology. Humans answered questions honestly, showing techniques that Zitherians considered impossible. They described modular ship designs that could repair themselves, energy-efficient propulsion systems, and defensive measures that use the environment rather than massive shields. Vethra shook her head in disbelief. They can think of solutions instantly. No simulations, no waiting, just ideas that work in real time. They have something we do not, Rylix said. Flexibility. Creativity under pressure. That is why the legends persist. The humans were not only clever, they were disciplined. Every ship, from the smallest scout to the largest frigate, moved as part of a coordinated plan. No orders seemed necessary. Every human knew its role and executed it perfectly. It was a harmony that the Zitherians had never seen, a combination of individual skill and collective efficiency. One night, Rylix organized a controlled encounter. He sent a single Zitherian ship to approach a human formation, testing their response. The human vessel anticipated the move and deployed a series of countermeasures. A small energy net immobilized the Zitherian craft, preventing escape but causing no harm. Humans then sent a message: observe, learn, and respect. We do not wish to fight, but we will protect what is ours. The display left Rylix silent. For the first time, he understood why humans were considered legends. They were not the largest, strongest, or most numerous species, yet they had survived, innovated, and overcome countless threats. Their strength was in their mind, their unity, and their courage. By the end of Part 2, Rylix began to rethink the Zitherian approach. He realized that diplomacy, observation, and understanding were more important than aggression. If humans were approached with respect, there might be opportunity. If underestimated, the consequences could be catastrophic. Looking at the human fleet now resting near a dense asteroid field, Rylix made a quiet note in his log. The legends are true. Humans are not myths. They are clever, daring, and strong in ways we do not yet fully understand. The Empire must be cautious. We have much to learn from them, and much to fear if we fail to respect them. As he prepared for a more formal meeting, Rylix knew the next encounter would be critical. The humans had already demonstrated their abilities. Now it was time for Zitherians to decide whether to approach as adversaries or allies. Part 2 ends with the humans fully proving their strategic brilliance, leaving the Zitherians in awe and setting up a tense, exciting confrontation in Part 3, where humanity's full strength and ingenuity will be revealed. The Zitherian Empire had watched humans with growing unease. Commander Rylix's reports described a species unlike any they had encountered. Clever, fearless, and organized in ways no algorithm could predict. The Council, uneasy and skeptical, decided to send a massive fleet to confront the humans directly. Their goal was to assert control and test if the legends of human ingenuity were true. Rylix, now convinced of humanity's capabilities, prepared a warning to the Council. Humans are not myths, he said. They are not merely clever. They are unpredictable, strategic, and capable of turning any disadvantage into strength. If you send the fleet without caution, you risk catastrophe. But the Council was impatient. They dismissed Rylix's caution as hesitation and ordered the fleet to advance. Millions of Zitherian ships spanning dozens of squadrons entered human-controlled space. Their sheer numbers cast a shadow over Nova Haven, the human colony at the heart of the system. Captain Alara Dane received the incoming fleet's warning signals. She studied the holographic maps and calculated the odds. Even with fewer ships, humans had an advantage. They knew the terrain, the asteroid belts, and the hidden passages that Zitherians had never charted. She addressed her crew. Stay calm, stay focused. We are outnumbered, yes, but we are never outsmarted. Remember your training and trust each other. We will show them why humans are legends. As Zitherian forces approached, the humans deployed their fleet strategically. Small, agile vessels slipped between asteroids using shadows and gas clouds for cover. Their shields glimmered faintly, enough to protect but not reveal their location. Rylix watched through his command console as humans took positions that no Zitherian battle manual had predicted. The first encounter was sudden. Zitherian ships attempted a direct strike on the perimeter of human defenses. Immediately, human vessels split into smaller units, each performing coordinated maneuvers. Some ships acted as decoys, drawing fire while others disabled key Zitherian craft using energy pulses. The attacks were precise, calculated, and non-lethal when possible, designed to protect humans while demonstrating capability. Rylix could not hide his astonishment. "They are not just defending, they are teaching," he muttered. "Each move is a lesson in strategy, efficiency, and creativity." Captain Dane's flagship moved through the field with elegance and precision. Every maneuver was planned, yet flexible. Human ships adapted instantly to unexpected movements, turning Zitherian strengths into weaknesses. A massive squadron attempted to flank them, only to find itself trapped by shifting asteroid formations and cleverly deployed energy barriers. In the heart of the battle, a single human frigate broke through the Zitherian line. Instead of firing, it released a series of holographic projections, images of human ingenuity, survival, and cooperation. Zitherian ships paused, uncertain, their sensors disrupted by the projections. It was not aggression, but a demonstration of human creativity. Rylix realized the true power of humans. They did not rely solely on weapons or numbers. They relied on mind, unity, and ingenuity. Even the most advanced Zitherian fleet could be challenged by humans because humans saw possibilities others could not. The battle continued. But Zitherian losses were minimal, not because humans were weak, but because they focused on disabling, confusing, and controlling rather than destruction. Ships that were temporarily out of position were quickly repaired or reassembled mid-flight. Strategic retreats were executed flawlessly, ensuring no vessel was lost unnecessarily. As the confrontation escalated, Rylix decided to engage directly. He opened a communication channel with Captain Dane. "Captain Dane," he said, "I must admit, I underestimated you. Humans are remarkable. I have witnessed your fleet, your tactics, and your coordination. You are truly legendary." Ilara Dane's calm voice replied, "Commander Rylix, we do not wish to fight your entire empire. We protect our home, our people, and our way of life. If respect guides your actions, there can be peace. If aggression persists, we will respond as we must." Rylix pondered her words. The humans were not boastful, not arrogant. They were confident, ethical, and precise. He realized the Zitherians had misjudged them for centuries. Myths are often dismissed, but humans had proven their reality through intelligence, courage, and ingenuity. The humans then executed a series of maneuvers that left the Zitherian fleet in awe. Small groups slipped past massive squadrons, disabling engines, redirecting energy flows, and using natural celestial formations to gain advantages. Zitherians could not anticipate the humans' thinking. Each step was unpredictable yet controlled. Finally, after hours of tension, the humans formed a clear line of communication. A holographic projection of Captain Dane appeared before the Zitherian commanders. "You have seen our strength, our coordination, and our ingenuity. Humans are not myths. We survive, we adapt, and we overcome. Let us find understanding, not war." The Zitherian fleet paused. Silence filled the command channels. Leaders whispered, debated, and recalculated. Rylix stood firm, knowing the humans had demonstrated something beyond raw power, a combination of intelligence, courage, and moral clarity that the Zitherians had never encountered. The final moment came when the humans, despite being outnumbered, disabled key command ships without firing a single destructive shot. They had proven that strength was not measured by numbers or weapon size, but by ingenuity, unity, and the ability to adapt. Rylix finally spoke to the council. "Humans are not legends. They are a species of extraordinary capability. Their ingenuity, courage, and adaptability surpass anything we have known. They must be approached with respect, for underestimating them is folly." Captain Dane's message echoed across the fleet. "Humans are ready to share knowledge, to defend our people, and to explore alliances. But we will always protect what we value. We are not myths. We are reality." By the end of the battle, the humans had not only defended Nova Haven, but had left an impression of awe on the Zitherians. The Empire realized that humanity was unlike any other species they had known. They were not merely survivors, they were thinkers, innovators. and legends brought to life. Commander Rylix looked out at the human fleet against the backdrop of distant stars and whispered, "Legends are real." And now I understand why. The story closed with the human fleet returning to their positions, prepared for the future, but unafraid. Across Cytherian space, reports spread of a species that combined courage, intelligence, and teamwork in ways no one expected. The myth was over. Humanity's legend had arrived,